Shaila, they asked three Rabbanim, three Gedolei Hador, what is the tafkid of a Rav? They asked the Aruch HaShulchan, they asked Rabbi Yitzchak Elchanan, and they asked Reb Chaim Brisker. So the Aruch HaShulchan said the tafkid of a Rav is to learn Hasmodah. This is the tafkid of the Rav, and it's known. The Aruch HaShulchan lived in a shtetl in Nevardik. His wife had a store in Nevardik. I'm sure it wasn't as big as Neve Yaakov. So you can imagine how big the city was. And the Aruch HaShulchan was there for over 11 years. And the Aruch HaShulchan did not know where his wife's store was. That was the asmoda of the Aruch HaShulchan. So the Aruch HaShulchan's answer was, asmoda, the Rav has to be a dugma, it's an example. They asked Rabbi Yitzchak Elchanan, what is the tafkid of a Rav? And he said to be a posek, and he was the posek in Gadol Hador. No question about it. Rabbi Yitzchak Elchanan was the final word. Everything came through his hands. And he was literally the Gadol Hador. And then they asked Reb Chaim Brisker, what is the tafkid of a Rav? And Reb Chaim answered as follows. To be a dugma and to sit and learn. Those kids on a Rosh Yeshiva also can do that as well. The paskin shailas, that you have a basin for. The tafkid of the Rav is to do chesed. That's the tafkid of the Rav. It's Yodua that on Reb Chaim's matzeva, Chaim gave it tzivoy, no special title should be put on his matzeva. The only title they put on Reb Chaim's matzeva was Rav Chesed. So Yodua, Chaim's maises with Chesed were unbelievable. People used to drop off babies by his house. Unwanted babies, obviously. Reb Chaim was metapo. They used to call these babies the mamzerim from Reb Chaim. Reb Chaim was metapo with them, brought them up, raised them. When the city, there's a big fire in the city, and it destroyed a great part of the city, Reb Chaim refused to sleep, and Reb Chaim's house was spared. But Reb Chaim refused to sleep in his house, in his bed, and he slept in the shul for 2 years, till the city was rebuilt. Reb Chaim never had a mokum kavua in his house. It's known that people used to come in his house, put up modaot. You know, like we see outside modaot. People came and put notices on his walls. There was never such a thing called privacy, or if we want to say properly, privacy, by Reb Chaim. The Mokor HaChesed, the address for all the umlalim and people of need were Reb Chaim. Such a dugma like Reb Chaim we don't have bisman hazeh. But my brother, even though he's a tremendous lamdan, but he is oisik in chesed and helping people all the time. 24/7, he and his wife are oisik in chesed. Whether it's helping boys to get into yeshiva, helping girls to get into SEMS, people coming on private needs. Oisik, if one needs a chesed, one knows to go to Michal Chil. You know, nowadays we have chesed organizations, and people know about them. but the organizations are all up front. But the Yechidim, the ones who do chesed and are not looking for advertisements, those are the ones who really are doing it l'shem shamayim. So it's my schus and my privilege to introduce my brother-in-law, Michal Chill.
What message can I give such a choshev olam? Yontif Chanukah is a yontif of biad oiskei sarasecha, and rabbim biad ma'atim. So I decided to say Advar Torah and to tell a few ma'asim. Seems that's the latest vogue, that's very popular ma'asim. Say a whole shtickle Torah is the olam's patience doesn't hold on for that long. But ma'asim are a good story to tell. The end of Alanisim, we say V'kavo sh'mayis mei Chanukah elu l'chodesh u'la'halo. How come by Purim we don't say that? We don't say V'kavo Chag HaPurim. Only over here by the yontif of Chanukah we say V'kavo sh'mayis mei Chanukah elu l'chodesh u'la'halo. What's the difference? We find three mentions out of order for the mitzvah of Menorah. Besides the tzivui of the Kli Menorah in Parshas Truma, we find that three parashas mentioned a tzivui about the Menorah. We find in Parshas Tzav at the beginning, we're going there. Then we find after the Parsha Moyadim, we find Shabbos b'nei Yisrael yikhu elecha shemen zayizov kosev amor l'hahu is near Tomim. After the Parsha Moyadim, all of a sudden we wake up with Menorah. The Sforim say it's a reference to Chanukah, comes after Sukkot, but the Pashas of Pasuk, why is it brought over here? And finally, today's laning. Today's laning, which we finish off the Chanukah Mesibah, and we say Ha'loischas HaNeiros. Again, why is that all of a sudden thrown into the Torah at these 3 points? In the first case, Chazal in the Medrash talk about that when Moshe Rabbeinu was given the tzivui of Ahata Hakre B'Lechus Aaron Achicha, to give Aaron the Kahuna Gedolah, very special position. Moshe Rabbeinu had a Chalishas Hadas. He thought Aaron is going to get such a chashva stella. He wasn't sure what to do. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu was maktiv. He gave him the tzivui of the Menorah. What does the Menorah represent in the Mishkan? We have two kalim in the Mishkan representing Torah. We have the Oren, which represents Torah Shabbat, and we have the Menorah that represents Torah Shabbat. The Rischa Daraisa, the Lichtigkeit of Torah, the Chiddush of Torah, the Amelus B'Torah. That's the Menorah, the Torah Shabbat Peh. Because Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm going to give you something special. You are going to be the Moiser of Torah Shabbat Peh. Mechadish, the risk of the Raisa, of Teresh Shabbat Peh, and Moshe Rabbeinu, with his grace and nivus, gave it over to Klal Yisrael. He didn't hold it for himself. He gave it to Klal Yisrael. That they have the risk of the Raisa, the koyach of Chiddush of Torah. And that's why over here it's mentioned. Don't be despoiled. The Kuna Gedolah is a wonderful position. And what you have is greater. The koyach of Torah Shabbat Peh, the Chiddush of Torah Shabbat Peh, the Amelus of Torah Shabbat Peh. And then, later on in the Torah, we talk about the Yom Tovim. You would think, what's the high point? The high point of Klal Yisrael, when they come to the Beis HaMikdash, the Regel, that's a gewaldige period in Klal Yisrael's life. Comes to Pasuk right afterwards and tell us, yes, it's very chashuv the Moyad, the Moyad Hashem. Oh, there's something greater. The Menorah, the Torah Shabbat Peh, the Riska D'Oraisa, the Chiddush of Torah, that's more and greater. And finally we come to the third point, Chanukah Mesibah. You would think that that is when Klal Yisrael reached the high point of its history. But Chanukah Mesibah comes to Parasha right after Ba'aloischa. No, there's a higher point by Klal Yisrael. When Klal Yisrael is Amel B'Torah, Klal Yisrael is Mechadish Torah, that's the highest point. That's the Menorah, the Torah Shabbat Peh. So the Yontiv of Chanukah, whether you want to try the Hashkichim Torah Sefer, get rid of this Maila of Klal Yisrael. We, at the end of the Al Hadisim, we exclaim, you try to get rid of the Koyach of Torah Shabbat Peh, which is to Nechadish a Yom Tov like Chanukah, the Kavo Shemoynes and Mei Chanukah Elu L'Chiddush L'Halim. Name. That's part of the victory. By Purim, it wasn't like a real Gezerah against Torah. From Mela, they just tell us the story. We're told that's one of our eights. By Chanukah, L'Hashkichim Torah Secha, the Kavo Shemoynes and Mei Chanukah Elu L'Chiddush L'Halim. In the union of Zaydim and Oiskis of Asecha, I'd like to tell over a Maisa from my Rebbe, Rab Nachum, Rashiva Meir. Two Chasir Sheyugalite came to him in the summer. He talked to him in learning. And he was Ben Azmanim. He was sitting in his apartment downstairs. And they said, "Do you want to talk to him?" He said, "Me." They started talking and learning for about half an hour. And after they finished, they said, "We want to ask the Rosh Hashiva a question which we have. You see the Rosh Hashiva sitting here with his sleeves rolled up. And we understand that when we learn Torah, we have to put on the Shemaina Begadim. You all know what the Shemaina Begadim are. They were dressed like Hasidic Shingalite. How do you learn Torah without being dressed like Kovadik? But nothing sitting there, short sleeves, rolled up sleeves. V'azoi, how can it be? Nochem looks at him and says, "Du verstehst nicht. You don't understand. You learn Torah. I live Torah. There's a life of living Torah. You live with your sleeves rolled up. You don't live with your Shemaina Begadim." Rabbi Miyad Ma'atim, the Koyach of Ma'atim, the Shiva just mentioned something before. Rabbi Miyad Ma'atim. I want to tell a Maisa that happened. The Didi Abiyuvda, famous Hurricane Sandy. You all heard of it about 5 years ago. I'm a very curious person. As my shloga, the Shiva said, I like to do chesed. I love to learn. I love to do chesed also. Right after the hurricane struck, a few days later, I tell my wife, "Let's go to Far Rockaway." want to see what's doing, what we can do to help. Any of you from Far Rockaway? But you remember what was going on there. Anyway, we drive into Far Rockaway and have the yeshiva Shir Yoshev there, which was the command center of the help. Finally found a parking spot, go into the building. One room is filled with baby clothing and all kind of paraphernalia. In the kitchen, they're cooking for 300 people every night, no electricity. The gym is filled with racks of clothing, not new clothing. Go into the gym, I ask who's in charge. Lady comes to me, I said, what do you need? I'm a Rav in Muncie, and we could get the community to help out. So we need new winter clothing. Chosheva mentioned here, used clothing was for the moment, but for the winter, they're going to need new winter clothing. I said, okay, go back to Muncie. My wife teaches in a high school. Made a drive. Told the girls, go out, with your own money, buy new dresses, jackets, whatever it is, leave the labels on. We put out 3 big grocery boxes. We needed another 15 boxes. People brought in other places. People brought boxes. My chavrusa has an SUV, Baruch Hashem. We filled up the SUV with all the boxes, clothing. We had another 5 boxes of pots and pans. And we had school supplies. Another box of that. One person, right before I left, came over me. He just bought a very fancy raincoat, $700. Wore it twice, sending it to Far Rockaway. Driving to Far Rockaway, go to Shir Yoshev. They come out, they help us empty out. I hear the lady on the phone, come quick. I have this raincoat. You'll love it. Somebody else, pots and pans, come. People came screaming into Shir Yoshev, and Baruch Hashem, we were able to help out what we could do. End of the story. There's no more to the story. What's the lesson? What's the lesson of the story? Think for a minute. What's the lesson of the story? When I tried calling up Achi, what's it called, the Achiezer over there, what's it called? That's what it's called. Yeah. He said, just send us your check. We'll take care of everything. You send us the check. I said, no, but I want to do something. Just send us the check. I said, Genug shayin with them. I'm going to do what I have to do. The koyach of a yochid, me'atim, every yochid, Misoy Libai, he wants to do B'klal Yisrael. He can succeed. Is what to do. All of a sudden, I was in the loop. I get calls. Rabbi Chill, I bought 24 cases of food from a food bank. How do I get it to Seagate? I want to tell him, yes, get into your car and drive to Seagate. What do you think? The roads are clear now. I made a connection with Chazdei Leib, a wonderful organization. This Chazdei Leib organization, they were mamish on the front lines. They had a great idea. You can do laundry. There's no washing machines, no electricity. They got hold of a commercial laundromat and said to the people, bring your stuff to the Shir Yoshev and we'll give it into it and you'll get it back. They made one mistake. 300 families brought their stuff. They gave the whole 300 people stuff in one big load. I told them, what's the matter with you? Get a woman in charge. Woman knows what to do. But the koyach of a yochid, Rabbi Miyad Ma'atim is choshev. It's choshev by Chanukah and it's a choshev in everything. And don't think you can't do it. You don't have to be a Rosh Kabahag. I, Baruch Hashem, am not the type of person to go clean out the garages, clean out the cellars. I saw mattresses being schlepped out, pianos being schlepped out. Unfortunately, that's not for me. But you can do something. It's what to do. When you see an emergency, the the Yochid can do, and he can be Matzliach. Just want to give you all a bracha. You should continue in this Gebaldige Yeshiva to be Omer B'Torah, to be Mechadish in Torah, and to be Zoicha, to Oz Egma B'Shir Mizbah Chanukah Mesibah